Bro, you act so depressed.
Well, because you're causing an aneurysm in my brain right now. Yeah, Scotty Kiefer is here with us, ladies and gentlemen. He's driving me insane today. Scotty, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Andrew, you wouldn't have a show without me, man, so you should be happy I'm here.
I mean, Frankie is here, too, so...
Not as good as me, that's for sure.
Well, we can put that up for debate. Obviously, guys, let us know. Who do you think would run a better show, Scotty or our man Frankie? Let us know in the comment section down below. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a whole bunch of college football stuff we're going to dive into. Probably going to take in a majority of the stuff. We'll pour through some of these quick questions you have as well as really rapid fire kind of stuff at the end, too. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, really quick. If you guys want to see any more of our streams going on, we got the YouTube, we got the Twitch going. That's right, youtube.com/XBombSports, twitch.tv/XBombSports. Right now, every Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time or close to it. Also, too, you guys want to ask us any questions, comments, things like that, you know, you can always hit us up on the social media side as well. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and, of course, the TikTok as well, done by our very own Mr. Frankie Olivoy Oliveri. Still don't have that other episode, by the way, but not complaining, just saying. On top of that, too, obviously, more questions, comments, things like that. You want to be more direct with us, you can always hit us up as well at xbsportsofficial@gmail.com. We always appreciate those as well, too, ladies and gentlemen. Always a lot of interesting stuff you guys throw our way. Sports stuff, non-sports stuff. We'll get into all that stuff as football starts to rhyme down. But, again, a lot of football stuff to get into, a lot of college football stuff we're going to stack this one up with. Scotty, you ready to hit this, man? Okay, we're just going to jump right into it. So, obviously, if you don't live under a rock, you've probably been seeing that there's a lot of this man by the name of Sherrone Moore entering into your Twitter feed, your Facebook feed, your Instagram feed. He has been everywhere. Why? Well, he is the head coach of Michigan. Pause. He was the head coach of Michigan. Sherrone Moore on Wednesday, as we were actually ending the Blow the Whistle show, which happens every time. It's either when we end it or we're about done. News drops from Adam Scheffler via Pete Thamel and Wexel, I think is his name, the other guy. Mike Wexel, something like that. I apologize. Both of them basically saying that Sherrone Moore was fired from Michigan. The reason why was then given a little bit later on, but it was due to inappropriate conduct with a staff member. That was the reason given. And you would think that that's where the story ends, but no. This took a dark turn. This is like Lifetime movie dark turn type of stuff. I was not expecting it to go down this type of rabbit hole, but hold on to your butts, as they say in my favorite movie, Jurassic Park. So, obviously, for those that don't know, this whole investigation apparently started back in summertime. This is according to John Bacon, who was speaking more on this. He and this staff member, I'm not going to say who the identity of the person, give her some anonymity. It's out there, but I'm just going to do my part to not put that out there. Basically, they apparently were in some sort of relationship and an affair happening because Sherrone Moore is married with 3 children. They denied having the relationship. However, just recently, apparently she came forward with information, receipts, emails, texts, things like that, basically showing that they did in fact, have a relationship, have an affair with one another while he was the head coach of the University of Michigan and she a staff member at Michigan as well. They were apparently caught, too, which is where this kind of all started to divulge. Well, from this, apparently at some point in time, it appears that Sherrone Moore, I don't know the proper clinical term to say on this, but I would guess to say had a mental breakdown. I'm not a doctor or anything, but certainly something happened here where he snapped. Apparently went to this staff member's home, broke into said home, and whilst wielding a knife, held it to his throat and said, "I'm going to take my life and take yours." Allegedly. I mean, I hope that's not the case, but this is a story that is now catching a lot of heat. Everybody's talking about it. It's making its rounds. It blows my mind. He was then just hours after that incident, he was taken into custody, into the county jail that night for what we now know is charged as a third-degree assault. Breaking and entering as well, I believe, was the other one. There's more charges attached to it, but those are like the main ones that have obviously been put on this. And from what we understand, too, Ward Manuel, the athletic director for the Michigan Wolverines, fired him himself, apparently stating that it was like enough was enough. And we now know that apparently this was something that was happening. They knew about potentially mental illness with Sherrone Moore for quite some time. So there's possibly more blowback that could come from this. And look, obviously the story is very crazy. And I don't mean that in like an insulting way. Just like the whole gist of how this has come about is strange. It's odd. The timing of it and everything, right? Of when he's being fired. Everything about this whole situation has just divulged into this just wild, wacky, it almost seems unreal situation. But it obviously, again, it's all alleged, but it seems to be there, put on print, put on paper for us to be there. So obviously something happened here. Something happened with Sherrone Moore. Something happened with this whole situation to go down this way. And it leads to now so many questions that are sitting in front of us saying, well, what does Michigan do with their head coach, right? What happens now with the players that are a part of Michigan? The transfer portal now opens for them to possibly move. What happens to the recruits who just signed their letter of intent for early National Signing Day? Also, too, did they know about his firing coming before they signed? There are so many questions to answer here. And I wish we had enough time to do it, but just in the limited time we have, look, for what this is, obviously, I'm going to, as I always say with this stuff, innocent until proven guilty with a lot of this. We have to kind of just wait to see what the information is that comes out. Obviously, they just went into court today. He's going to, I guess, have to enter a plea. I'm guessing today's going to be the day he enters a plea. He's going to have to figure out that whole situation is going to have to play out probably in court unless he pleads guilty, and then we'll see what happens from there. But I'm flabbergasted by the fact that this is a story that we even have to talk about for college football. Again, it feels like a Lifetime movie kind of thing. Not to trivialize it, it does. It feels like it's not a story any of us would find, but I don't know. From my perspective, looking at this right now, watching this whole situation play out, I mean, if you're a Michigan player, what do you do? Like, if I'm a player on that team right now, and I'm looking at the situation with Michigan, obviously, yeah, you'd like to wait and see what they get as a coach. But, like, that's the thing. Time's ticking because the portal opens January 2nd. And these guys are going to have an opportunity to possibly then move and go to a new school. Not to mention the guys you just signed their letter of intent, they can say, well, I'm going to enter the portal, get out of my letter of intent, and now I can go free and go find a new school to commit to. Like, everybody now has a free go to leave Michigan, which that's why, like, the sooner you can get a coach in, the faster. Because right now, what's this guy's name? Tofu burger guy, what's his name? Tofu fungi? I don't know. We'll have some assistant right now is currently taking over as the interim coach, which obviously, unless they somehow beat the dog snot out of Texas, I don't think he's getting the head coaching job. And they've Biff Hoagie? Poggy. Okay, that doesn't sound like a real name at all. But, all right, so either way, there's a lot of names being attached out there with, obviously, Kalen DeBoer is kind of the favorite right now for a lot of people saying they're going to make a giant offer to get him away from Alabama, even though right now they're in the college football playoffs, so they can't make a move just yet. There's also attachments of Marcus Freeman potentially leaving Notre Dame. He's been attached to a lot of different universities in this whole shebang of trying to find the next head coach in the carousel and everything. There's all these other talks about getting Jesse Minter, who was the defensive coordinator there with Jim Harbaugh, now the DC over there in Los Angeles with the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh, might come back. There's Glenn Schumann from Georgia, I've heard. There's Haynes, I believe his name is, the offensive coordinator from Indiana. There's a lot of names being mentioned, and I don't know if there's any Michigan fans out there that know of any coach that they like that can tickle their fancy outside of, like, I guess, Kalen DeBoer. I've heard Kenny Dillingham. I've heard even Jed Fish from Washington. I think, though, there's only one viable option, and they're going to hate it. They're really going to hate it. The only real viable option I could see with a Michigan team right now that needs a coach immediately that can make an impact, give them some sort of assembly of, like, structure for what is right now probably a very chaotic situation that nobody's at the helm really driving this thing, and they need a captain that can ride them through this ship. And I know for some people they're going to say no, absolutely not. It might just end up being Brian Kelly. Yeah, I know. But here's the thing. It never made sense for LSU, but it makes sense for Michigan because he's a Midwestern coach coaching at Notre Dame, coaching at Cincinnati. He knows the landscape there. He understands that whole fold. I would have to imagine that would be a great match for there, not to mention his offense and his thought process of power football, defense structure, all of that fits with what Michigan wants to do. It doesn't sound sexy. It doesn't sound great considering what happened with LSU this year and him being fired, but it may be the only thing that keeps the water from getting into the ship to the point where now you're saying, well, now we have to abandon because we're sinking. I don't know. I mean,
could the best option for Michigan being to keep the interim coach just for this year and then go out in the market next year and pull in a guy, and he doesn't get a clean slate of a team?
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to think some of the transfers will at least stay because it's somewhat the same coaching staff. You can kind of bank on that for just this season, kind of maybe wash away this season, and then next year could start over with a new coach who's going to build up the program again.
It's possible, but the only problem with that is that you're running the risk of these kids getting an opportunity to look at these other schools, and if you look at those other schools and they see a better opportunity, I can't blame any of those guys for suddenly saying, well, we don't know what's going to happen here, so I'm going to jump ship. I hear what you're saying, and the logic's there, don't get me wrong. But, like, you know, listen, if you're Bryce Underwood right now and you just had a very pedestrian, as far as college football goes, pedestrian season, right? You're looking to probably go to a university, a school, a program that's going to help you grow as a quarterback and get you there. I'm not saying go to LSU. It would be awesome if he did. Just he could look across the country and anybody would take him, right? There's no doubt.
There's no doubt in that.
Yeah.
Someone will take him.
And
I mean, if he just wants to get out, I'm pretty sure Ohio State would take him as their scout team safety.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, I mean, and you think about the recruits, right? Hitter, a 5-star plus athlete that they got, the top running back in the country, right? Signs with Michigan. He signs his letter of intent. He could get out of that thing now and go to the transfer portal and go find a new school. And that's the thing, is that Michigan is running the risk of, if they can't find somebody that they can lock in, I'm not saying it has to happen now. It can happen after the bowl game, but you better get somebody in there that can just definitively be like, yes, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what we have to do. Just somebody that can sturdy the ship. I'm not saying Brian Kelly's the answer on, like, we're going to the championship, but you need to stop it from taking on water, because eventually this program could sink back to the Rich Rodriguez days of 6-6, 7-5, 5-7, those horrible days where they were losing to Appalachian State, right? They don't want to go back to that. Nobody wants to see that happen again for Michigan, so they need somebody in there who can start plugging up the holes and stop this thing from going all the way down to the depths. Because we almost saw what happened here with Penn State, right? I mean, look at how far they fell. I mean, now they may have a chance to kind of resurface, but it's going to take a lot for them to kind of get back to where they once were. So Michigan wants to try and stop that from happening, considering that this is by and large, this isn't just a firing. This is clearly beyond that. This is a scandal. This is not the record. This is, oh, you did something wrong. There was cause for your firing, and then on top of that, now you find yourself in a huge legal dispute with this whole breaking and entering and all that stuff. Again, allegedly, but still. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Michigan. This is nuts. I'm not trying to make fun of the situation, nothing like that. Not trying to make light. It's crazy to think that this is happening, that this is real life, that we're dealing with this for a coach. But let us know, guys, what do you think? Sherrone Moore, that whole situation. We want to hear from you guys on that as well. Let's move more into the college football stuff, because we've talked about this on Blow the Whistle on a pretty constant basis. We're going to hammer it a little bit more here. And as you know, the playoff is set. And officially, we now know that it is going to be Miami in as the number 10 team, with JMU making it 12, and then obviously Tulane is at the 11 spot. And, of course, the story is that with Miami in, who got bumped? Notre Dame. And everybody is losing their freaking minds. Why? Well, if you ask Pete Bavacqua, the athletic director for Notre Dame, it is not Notre Dame's fault. No. It is the fault of the ACC, a conference that they have a joint venture with. Mind you, joint venture. That means that they shook hands and said, hey, we'll work with you, but we're not joining your conference. And I said this on Blow the Whistle, it's a situationship of college football, where we get all the benefits of hanging out with each other. We get to do stuff, but don't you dare call us a couple. We're not a couple. We're not together. But it's interesting to see that Notre Dame then gets upset when the ACC decides to say head-to-head matters in a social media post and get really upset about how they're promoting Miami. Now, Pete Bavacqua said they have every right to do so because Miami is a part of their conference. That is a team of theirs. You are right. But then why are you getting upset is my thing. You're not together. You're not a part of the ACC. You have said many a times, we don't need a conference. We are Notre Dame, a prestigious school, a great university, a 5-rate opportunity for you to get a great education. And, of course, if you're an athlete, it's a great opportunity for you as well. I'm not taking anything away from it. It's a beautiful campus. It's a great stadium, all that stuff. But at the end of all of this, Notre Dame, obviously, you can make a lot of different reasonings as to why they should be in, why they shouldn't be in. We last week were sitting here on this show saying, I personally, and I think, Scotty, you were of the same mindset, Miami should be in because they had the head-to-head. They matched up pretty much even on a lot of the different levels. It was simply that they did not have the head-to-head. Miami had a winning record against top 25 teams currently ranked. Notre Dame was 0-2 against Texas A&M and Miami itself. And on that head-to-head, I had Miami taking it. Now, I will argue that I think Bama should have fallen out after that big loss to Georgia, and that's where Notre Dame probably should be in.
I don't know if Bama should have fallen out because at least they played their conference championship.
Correct.
They should not have stayed right where they were.
No.
At least.
Should have at least moved to 10.
It should have been, instead of Miami who's getting it, it should have been Bama Notre Dame. But the conversation's Miami Notre Dame because Miami's the last spot. It should have just been Bama being in that last spot because you can't fault them for playing in the conference championship game.
No.
Now, BYU lost. Now, that's the other thing.
Yes.
They did get destroyed by Texas Tech, I think, in the regular season, too.
They did, yes.
So,
Texas Tech beat them twice.
That's a little bit of a different conversation because, yes, their 2 losses are to the same team, but they did get blown out by that team.
That's, yeah.
No, that's just obvious.
Vanderbilt does have...
They have a case.
A case. The problem is that the loss to Bama is going to hold water against them. And it's not, and had they made it close, like we saw last year, that I would have said, okay, you've got a legitimate argument to make. But once you got blown out by Bama this year, that's when I kind of went, you fell too far behind the SEC. You're in the fight. Congratulations. Like, you had a great year, but you just finished like fourth. You didn't finish third. You can't get a medal on that one. Sorry. But good on you. You finished the race.
They got a case. They got the briefcase. They just have like the 3 numbers of the combination. They just don't know the last.
Exactly. Yeah, they're still searching for it, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Diego, good luck on your career. Heisman finalist, yes, they do have that. They do have that boast. I don't think he's gonna win it, but whatever. But yeah. I mean, this Heisman, I'll tell you right now, that because we're going to get into it eventually with the Heisman, I'll just say really quickly, this is one of those Heismans where, like, none of these guys really feel like they truly deserve it outside of, like, maybe one.
Andrew, I don't know if you've looked at the stats of Mendoza compared to, like, the last 5 Heisman Trophy winner quarterbacks. It's low-key embarrassing.
It's pretty pathetic. It's pretty pathetic.
It's pathetic. It's embarrassing that he's
And it's not that he's
running.
pathetic. It's just that
his
numbers
he's a great quarterback.
Yeah, his numbers just don't translate the way that they should, which is where I'm on the side of give it to Jeremiah Love, because he's just having a historical season for a running back, regardless of what you think about, again, Notre Dame with this situation or not. Guy's having a great year. But that's the thing, right? I mean, listen, had Notre Dame had a couple pathways to being in the playoff, right? Everything played out for this one. It's just, again, maybe they looked at Miami and said the head-to-head really does matter. You know what? Let's go with it. The other part of it could be, too, that the simplest one would be, hey, man, why don't you win the games? And I know how that sounds. I know all that simplistic stuff and everything. But listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this as clear as I possibly can, because I think we can all agree with this. The College Football Playoff Committee is ridiculously run. It is a mess of a situation, and you cannot leave it to doubt that a human mind can make this decision. So for Notre Dame, you have to make it clear that you are, beyond of a shadow of a doubt, the best option to put in the playoff, because you are leaving it to human beings who all, by the way, have their own agenda in play for what they want to do with the playoff.
I would say their idea of that we should be in the college football playoff, and their statement to why they should be, the problem with them, it doesn't involve on the field. It involves how much money they would make for college football, for certain brands, for certain networks.
Right.
That is what their pitch is. It is not what goes onto the field.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you can't leave it up to the committee. It's kind of like in the UFC. You don't leave it up to the judges'
No,
scorecard.
you
Make
can't.
it convincing. You can't.
You can't.
You don't know what's going to happen.
You leave it to the judges. You leave it to the judges. They are going to just. They're going to ream you over the coals.
There's a chance. There's a chance that you could not win. It happens all the time in the UFC.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing here. The problem is Notre Dame thinks that their case it doesn't have to be on the field. It's what they bring to the game of college football in money-wise and brands. That's all what they hope for.
And that would sell great if this was still 1985 and 1990. Unfortunately, it's 2025. Everybody's making money. Everybody's making money. Like, and the fact that they decide that they want to throw the ACC under their bus of like, well, it's not our fault, it's their fault. They had a bad conference and all that. Is there legitimate reason to cause ACC as their problem? If you really want to dig hard enough, go for it. On the surface level, from where I'm looking at it, it's a joke to basically say that a conference that you're not a part of is the problem. You had the joint venture with them. They made the offer to them numerous times over the last 20 years. Join our conference, join our conference, join our conference. And what'd they say? No thanks, no thanks. No, we're good. We're okay. We're all right. ACC, Big Ten, Big East when it was still a thing. Now the American, right? They've all made pitches to Notre Dame. Come join our conference. Come be a part of us.
Especially the American. Like, that's been a one that's been, like, recent.
Yeah.
They are trying to really up all of their programs.
Right.
And they know that Notre Dame would help them.
That would make them a
And
legitimate.
I think, I want to say it was like from 2022 on, they were really pushing Notre Dame to join their conference.
They were racking up money to put an offer forward that was in the billions of dollars that would have gotten Notre Dame there. And they said no because, again, they believe that brand, and it's a great brand, don't get me wrong. Their TV rights deal and everything is amazing, the fact that they were able to work that out. But this is a program who is still living off its past, who just had a recent history that they are selling really well, I will have to say, with at least going to the national title. You got 5 stars to commit on early national signing day, and instead of being able to use this as momentum, you are allowing your athletic director, Pete Bavacqua, a man who I never thought I'd know his name, you are allowing him to take this arc of Notre Dame, this aura that it's had for so long, over 100 years, and tear it to pieces because of whatever the case is with this guy having some sort of burden of crisis against the College Football Playoff Committee, when, again, you can't leave it up to the guys in charge who, I will say, I heard Brady Quinn say, well, ESPN's got the rights with the ACC and stuff, and, the people involved with the playoff committee and all that. He's kind of right, because the guys in the playoff committee are going to have their own values in their head saying, well, if we get Miami and that's going to help the ACC, and I'm here for the ACC really more than any. You can't let that happen. You can't let those guys get involved. You have to make sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we are good enough to get in.
But here's the thing, Andrew. They don't even have to do that anymore because instead,
why bother now? Why bother?
Instead, they decide to go out there and get it confirmed they'll just be in the college football playoff.
Yeah. Why bother when apparently now we're learning about, I don't know what this is, a secret document right there with the JFK assassination and who caused 9/11 probably? It's probably sitting right there as, oh, by the way, whenever Notre Dame decides to go to the college football, if they're ranked top 12, they automatically get into the college football playoff.
You know what I would do?
That's a contract. That's a legitimate contract. Apparently, they have.
If
and
I'm
now,
running the SEC, I want one. I want one of those. Like,
everybody would want one. Who doesn't want one?
I want one of those.
Yeah.
Every conference should be running to the committee saying, "All right, we want one of these."
Where did the college football playoff committee think that just because I'm only assuming it's because Notre Dame is a independent that they can just kind of get away with this and be like, well, hold on a sec. Now you want us, we want you. We got to make sure that this can work. And it just this is like almost, is this cheating being allowed? Is this legal cheating? It's just favoritism to a whole new level.
It's
in
favoritism.
Contractual form. This is being allowed. And everyone's just, and obviously no one's okay with it now that this has come out, because teams are apparently saying, well, if they're already in, why are we going to play them?
So I like that you brought that up, because here's my question to you.
Yes.
That's been the big thing this week, that a lot of conferences have come out, and there's been a lot of reports saying that conferences are going to be stingy scheduling against Notre Dame.
Correct.
If that's the case, how do you think the committee ranking top 25 teams next season is going to react to this?
I feel like it's going to end up becoming chaos.
Because every week, they're gonna probably play 2 FCS schools.
Absolutely.
They can't fill out their schedule. Army, Navy, Air Force every week.
You'd have to take them off your schedule.
You're going to take MAC schools and that kind of stuff. You're not going to have any good wins.
No.
So how are they going to be able to – how do you think they're going to be able to actually rank that?
That's a good question, honestly. That is a really good question. Well, look, I pulled up their schedule really quick, okay, for Notre Dame. Just real quick.
Yeah, next year's schedule is solidified. It's the year after where teams are like, we might want to get out of the contract
Absolutely,
of playing each other.
Their schedule next year, they are playing 4 teams that had winning records. One of them's ranked nationally, would be USC.
I was about to say, and I think actually their toughest game is
SMU. Miami too. Yeah.
I think their toughest game is actually SMU for the later stretch of the year.
Yes.
That's embarrassing.
Who could also, by the way, be ranked.
They probably will be.
So you've got Miami, you've got SMU, and USC probably all be ranked, I'm assuming, by the time they play each other. USC is going to be at the end of the year, Miami, and then SMU. It's back-to-back on those. So, and the only other team that's got a winning record would be Navy, which they slapped this year. So I'm
and
trying
more than not slap every single year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am trying to figure this out, like as far as how this is being allowed. How this is, and I don't blame these other teams for being upset. Listen, you had every opportunity for so many years now to join a conference, and you said no, Notre Dame. You said no. We want to be independent. We want to stand on our own 2 feet. But yet you now want to cherry pick. You want to cherry pick basically what you want. Well, we want this and we want that. No, that's not how this works. I'm sorry. Your situationship with the ACC, either be together or don't. Because you can't get mad at them once they find somebody new, a.k.a. Miami, that was right there all along, and they're with Miami now, and you go, hey, wait a minute. No, where's our love? No, I'm sorry, but we're not together, remember? You just wanted to, like, hang out and do stuff. Miami actually we want to be with each other. I know how weird this sounds. I apologize. I know it's a weird analogy, but just roll with it, folks. It's for Notre Dame, it's simple. Either win every game out, or make it close, right? Simple as that. Or structure your schedule so you can win every single game, because more than likely they will be top ranked, and how dare they keep out an undefeated Notre Dame, right? But this will cause structural problems within the rankings for sure. Like you said, Scotty, how do you fix the rankings where if Notre Dame has a bunch of easy teams in front of it, MAC schools and Sun Belt and all this stuff, well, what do you do? If they're 12-0, but they haven't played a single Power 4 school, what do you do with an undefeated Notre Dame? Do you keep them underneath the top 12, or do you propel them in there?
That's the thing is, like, and we're not saying that Notre Dame's never had an easy schedule. They kind of always have an easy schedule because they're independent. They end up playing, UConn in the mid-season when Georgia's playing Bama, right? That just happens.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's going to be teams that even, like, they played Miami and Texas A&M their first 2 games. They're not going to want to play them anymore.
No, absolutely not.
And
why would you?
They?
Why would you? Because those teams, I'm telling you right now, those teams already know. They're like, well, we make enough money. We don't need to play you guys.
You know what this is going to be like the question of how would North Dakota State do in the FBS?
Yes.
That's what I'm kind of feeling this might get to, where they've built this powerhouse program in the FCS, but how would they be in the FBS? Well, when they play them, they lose.
Right.
And you don't really know how good they actually are.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
That's what it might get to.
Yeah,
if literally no one in the top 25 will ever play them.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you're one of those top teams and you're in a conference that makes money, and you're a program that makes a super ton of money, why would you look at Notre Dame and say, we need you? You don't need them. Nobody needs them. At that point, the ones that need them are the smaller schools. And by the way, I'm not faulting Tulane and JMU for making the playoff. I'm not putting anything on them. They did what they were supposed to do. Should they be in? Should they not be in? Listen, let them be in. They're not going to win the game. Fine. It's not their fault that they're in there and nobody else isn't. Okay?
I don't think there's a single team in the actual college football playoff anyone has a problem with them actually being in.
No, that's the thing.
Other than maybe Bama, but we already talked about that one.
That's the thing. And Pete Bavacqua is the one that he said it. I can't remember what show he was saying it, but he was saying the right thing where he was going, hey, man, this is the committee's fault. Yes, it is. It's the committee. The committee is the problem here. But he decided then to start taking shots at everything else around him that's not the College Football Playoff Committee, and that becomes the problem. Do you think that's maybe because the committee is made up of everyone around the committee? Essentially. I mean, that could be the case. Maybe he's just making fun of everyone, and it all trails back to the committee. That could be. It comes off. I
kind of see where he's coming from if that's the deal.
It comes off as just sour grapes. And to add on to it too, just really quick, and we'll get out of this subject. Canceling the bowl game.
Dude, they canceled the Pop-Tart Bowl.
I know. You canceled out of the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which is arguably the most popular bowl game that's not in the playoff yet, because I'm sure once they expand, it probably will. But here's the thing. Listen, if they put them on popsicle sticks, it would be even more symbolism there. You're denying these kids, these seniors, a last chance to have the last bowl game. You are possibly taking away an opportunity for some of these kids to put more tape out there for the NFL draft. You're denying a bonus for these kids on their NIL as well as the staff. And that's the thing. I'm not blaming Marcus Freeman. I'm not blaming the players. I'm not blaming any of them. This all goes on the AD for clearly saying, like, I'm going to handle this. And I think he's done a very rough job handling this, honestly. Terrible job, in fact, you could say.
You think Nick, the reaction or overreaction of bowl season is dead? Is there any legs to that, or?
I think there is. I think there's legitimacy to say that because obviously look at how many teams are now canceling bowl games. We're up to what, 15 teams almost?
Not only that, look at how many bowls are actually being canceled now.
Yeah.
They're up to 6 bowls that will not make a return next season.
Yeah. And these teams,
the
by the
latest
way,
one being the LA Bowl.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is only 5 years old.
Yes, that's true. And these teams, by the way, too, they're taking pretty hard, massive fines of like $500K a piece from what I saw. The Big 12 was handing out there. And it's because they make money off of this too, folks. The conferences need these teams to make bowl games so that they make more money and get more prestige, right? And them not playing it, they're fining them. And these schools are going, that's fine. So, Nick,
yeah, I remember when bowls were like the Mountain West team plays the Pac-12 team.
Right.
Or that's how they were set up. Or the American team plays the Sun Belt team. The Sugar Bowl used to be SEC versus Sun Belt.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
That was the old BCS system, which I always thought was okay, but as time moved on,
the fact that it was 1 and 2 was the problem.
Yes, that was always the big issue, was the 2 playing for the national title, especially because when LSU and Bama played for the national title, that's when everyone went, hey, wow, I'll never forget that year. God, I wish I would have went to that game.
Yeah,
but
that's
still,
when it really. And then also you have to take in the fact that the greatest bowl games that we do have are just college football playoff games.
Essentially.
It's sad that you can win the Rose Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl and a national championship.
It takes the pageantry out of college football.
What's the point of winning
the
Rose Bowl now? There's no prestige in that.
But this is where, obviously, look, NIL, transfer portal, all of that, this is where we said college football moving to professionalism is going to take a toll on the pageantry that is college football. The rah-rah and all that stuff is going to start to move more to the corporate side. And you can see it. Guys are no longer dressing in kind of like school spirit. They're now dressing in fine wine dine suits. It's now Versace's and Gucci. It's not the bookstore stuff anymore. It's changed. For the great, sure, to help these kids, absolutely. But for the sake of the game itself, college football, it is hurting. It is hurting, and it's hurting drastically, and it's starting to take a toll. It's one of the reasons why people are starting to turn it off, unfortunately. So, but all right, let's get to these questions really quick. Obviously, let us know, guys. What do you think about the Notre Dame situation? Please try and keep it civil. I know. I'm talking to you, Brandon Combs. I'm talking to you. Please keep it civil as much as you can, guys. Let us know, obviously, in the comment section down below. All right, let's rattle off these questions real quick. So this is the questions. We got these: college football, NFL, and then an MLB question. Run through them. First one comes from our man Cam. Not Cam. I'm so sorry. My God. Let's go with Cam's questions first on the Phillip Rivers one, if we may, real quickly. Yeah, no, it wasn't Cam Newton, but boy, did he have a lot to say. So, yes, if you guys don't know, Phillip Rivers is back into the NFL, believe it or not. And
My childhood isn't dead.
Yeah, if you can believe it. So, yes, Phillip Rivers is back, ladies and gentlemen, at 44 years old. He's back with the Indianapolis Colts, officially signed off the practice squad. Looks like he will be getting the start for the Colts this weekend. That's nuts. So he asked us a question. He said, do you think Grandpa Phillip Rivers can come to the rescue and save the Colts' remaining season? I'll be honest, I think there's a chance. Because he doesn't have to do a lot. He just has to do enough.
He's just got to play the J.J. McCarthy role and just hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. And I'm definitely not saying that as a Jonathan Taylor fantasy football owner.
Yeah, he's looking a little odd too. He might be banged up.
Killed him.
Yeah, maybe, but I think he has a shot. It's there. I know people are like, well, he's got like third best odds now to win comeback player of the year. Just nuts. That's nuts. But listen, this is Mr. Minimal Turnovers, Mr. Highly Accurate. I think he has an opportunity to do it. They only have to win, 3 more games and kind of solidify their spot really in a playoff position?
The AFC is really weak this year.
They need just like 2-3 more games, and they're good, I think. So the
South is just the tough division. So
yeah, and their schedule from what we saw is going to be rough. They're facing a lot of tough defenses. Yeah, Seattle and oh my God. I know, and Houston, obviously, Houston's just beating the snot out of people. Like, it's not going to be easy, but if he can limit mistakes, if he can just play simple football, I think it is possible. It really is. I mean, if we're seeing anything we just saw from Atlanta yesterday with Kirk Cousins, by the way, leading another incredible comeback, is symbol of anything, perhaps Phillip Rivers has like a 400-yard, 3-touchdown game as well.
Andrew, Kirk Cousins has been playing football in the last 5 years and wasn't coaching high school football a couple months ago.
That is true. That is also true. This is
the last time this guy played, everyone was still wearing masks.
I'm intrigued to see how this one plays out. I'm going to be highly optimistic at best, but I will be obviously wary cautionary at most because one hit and this guy might go down.
Baker Mayfield was the savior of the Browns the last time this guy played.
Nick Chubb was.
No.
It's all Nick Chubb. I give that to him. All right. Thank you so much for the question. I appreciate it. All right. Next, we come from Paul, our good man Paul. He asked us this quick question, too. He said, basically, he was saying Max Johnson is entering the portal. He's like, he's basically saying, we got all these older guys. He listed it out. When Max Johnson was in high school, coming out of high school, Bill Snyder was the head coach at Kansas State when he was first at LSU. Urban Meyer was still at Ohio State. Paul Johnson was still at Georgia Tech. LSU and A&M had played a 74-72 overtime game. Never forget that one. There were only 4 teams in the college football playoff, and Kyler Murray had just won the Heisman. So if that says anything for how old Max Johnson is, he then asked, do we have an age problem in college football? And honestly, I think...
Well, when you lay it out like that.
Yeah, when you lay it out like that, I think we are hitting that point where we need to start really talking about the scholar, like allowing these guys to play past their scholarship, like into that graduate level. There needs to be a more legitimacy on trying to lock that down because medical red shirt is a different kind of thing, all that stuff. It's just now it's starting to go for like, oh, I got a knee sprain. Oh, I got an ankle sprain. Like they're doing the smallest things to get these medical red shirts. That's the problem.
They cannot play the last 4 weeks of the season. They all get the red shirt.
Yeah, they still get their red shirt, which I think is absurd. Yes, Nick, you had?
Yeah, if anything, you're seeing more of an age thing in college basketball and not college football.
That too.
John Calipari had the whole thing of like, yeah, these guys are pulling up, they're saying goodbye to their wife and kids in the stands, and then they're going to practice. So yeah, it seems a lot. Then the whole like G League players can still play college ball. No,
yeah.
It's nuts.
Well, I mean, what is it in the D2, D3, or JUCO, whatever it is? You got those 43-year-old guys, that guy that's playing with his son or whatever it is on that college football team, and then you've got Tusi, the rapper who's 25 years old, who's on he got a scholarship to Syracuse because he's still eligible because he didn't use it, which is nuts. Same.
Dude,
I redshirted.
I did not go to college at all, so I got all.
You got 4 years.
Frankie,
I got 4 years. We all got 4 years still.
Eligibility.
Yeah, you got eligibility too, Frankie. We're all going. That's it. Bad karma on X-Bomb Sports. Blow the whistle. We're all going back to college, folks.
Yo, we just go to like.
God, my bones just creaked.
We just go to a slack JUCO school and just start being like
Independent CC. We'll be part of the Last Chance U. We are Last Chance U at that point. That there is no.
We go to like a tiny school in like Anchorage, Alaska.
Exactly.
And just like start dominating.
Unbelievable. God, yeah, there is definitely an age problem. How they solve it, it's going to have to be restrictions at some level. Like restrictions on redshirting, all that. Age restrictions might just have to be in play. Honestly, NIL contracts may have to have some sort of restriction with age too. Like you can only make so much money once you're 22 or 23. Like, after that, it ends, to try and defer these guys away from being 24, 25, still going into college. Next thing you know, we're going to see 43-year-olds at the Division I level because, Tom Brady's like, yeah, I still had like a year left. Like, it's wild.
I mean, we just got Phillip Rivers back, man. Like,
That's
come
true.
on.
I mean, hey, man. That's true. That's true. But thank you so much, Paul, for the question. Appreciate it. Obviously, I know, Paul, you asked about the White Sox, too. We'll talk about that at a future later date. Congratulations, by the way, for the White Sox getting the #1 overall pick in the MLB draft. Looking like they're going to give it a pretty solid player if it is Rocco Chowowski. Just a perfect Chicago name, honestly.
Dude, that's perfect for Chicago.
That is perfect for them. And what a perfect player, too. My God, the kid's a slugger. All right. Speaking of which, the last question, this came from our dude Mike. Mike is saying, all right, just doing it real quick. Pete Alonso got his $155 million deal from the Baltimore Orioles, which I can't say the expletives, but he definitely threw him out there. And he said, I got to know from you guys right now, what are the moves in free agency that you have liked so far from Major League Baseball, and what future ones do you think may possibly happen? I mean, the Pete Alonso one's a pretty big one, don't get me wrong, and that makes Baltimore very, very, very dangerous. That gives them a solid lineup right now. I am obviously in favor of Dylan Cease going to the Blue Jays because I think that gives them a real good shot at being able to repeat and get back there and fight with the almighty powerful Dodgers.
I think that's good because you kind of have to show that it wasn't just like a one-season thing.
Yeah,
Look at how we're kind of viewing the Rangers right now, that one season they had, and even the team they played against, the Diamondbacks. Like, they kind of just had that 1 year with them.
Right.
They need to be a team that kind of shakes that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a move that does that for them.
Definitely. I mean, no, from where I'm standing at, I mean, the Cease one obviously is the biggest one right now as far as money goes, but I mean, where I'm standing at, I mean, I think the Alonso one could definitely have a huge impact on how playoffs potentially go out, too. I mean, the ones that are right now, the one that I'm sitting on that's intriguing is to see what happens with the Bregman situation because, obviously, for the Cubs fans out there, they're in the hunt for right now Bregman to get him at third base. But the Red Sox are still in pursuit as well to possibly bring him back, so it's a battle back and forth to see where he wants to go. It's going to come down to, I think, the money situation there. So that could be a big play one. Obviously, the Tarek Skubal situation is going to be well under the microscope. I don't know how true it is, but there was the rumor going out that the Dodgers were trying to put some giant package together to get him, which I just feel like that's got to be against the antitrust laws, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
My favorite move was Zach Gallen going to the Chicago Cubs for all of 3 hours, but instead he was getting married.
How was Bob Nightingale?
That's a good question, honestly.
Nick, you know what my favorite move is?
Very good question.
Is the Cubs signing 3 different low to mid tier relievers, thinking that's going to answer their problems. That's my favorite thing. Just rehashes the stereotype.
I mean, and the White Sox got K. Yeah. Hey, I mean,
Cubs fans think they can pull 10s at the bar, but at the end of the day, they're just pulling 3s and 4s.
Listen, sometimes you can clean up on 3s and 4s.
Yeah, we got the #1 pick, dude.
I've done it for a long time, okay? That was my college years, all right? There you go.
You get a big old hoss, a big old gal.
You take one for the team.
Sometimes you're not going to hit the home run, okay? Sometimes you just got to hit a single and a double.
Here's the thing. By May, they're already going to hate these guys. So what's the point of signing them?
Yeah, that's you know what? You see what you did, Mike? You started an argument, and it's never going to end now. Unbelievable.
You literally not stop and say anything.
Oh, my God. Can you two calm down, please? All right. I mean, look, there are going to be a lot more moves that come out. It's only the early periods. Everybody's doing their signing. We will see how this all plays out by the very end. But for what the early signing period has brought us, I will say this. If you're a New York Mets fan, best of luck to you. Yeah, good luck.
Check in on your New York Met friends, man.
So, I mean, when your best move is
right now,
when your best move is trading Nemo for Seaman, I mean, you're setting the bar at a very mid level, I gotta say. Also, Devin Williams instead of Edwin Diaz. I know Diaz wanted to go to the Dodgers, but really, Devin Williams? I don't know, man. Yes, sir. Yeah.
All I'm saying is Steinbrenner put back in the facial hair clause once Williams left.
I did see
All
that.
I'm saying.
He did do that. Oh, yeah.
He put it back in.
Because he's back in charge now. I don't know. Steinbrenner is a weird dude. Whatever. Forget the Yankees. All right. Oh, what? Like we haven't already? Bring it on. I get enough of your emails as it is. I don't need any more.
You just pissed off all the Cowboys fans out there.
Yeah, good. They don't even count. They're not really people. All right. That's going to do it for the question here, folks, and that's going to do it for the show. Thank you all so much for the questions. Thank you all so much for chiming in. Thanks for listening to us rant and rave as well. We always do appreciate it. You guys are the best fans in the world. It means a lot to us that you allow us to be able to do this. Real quick, if you guys want to check us out anymore, of course, YouTube, Twitch, go check out those links. Again, we're going live every Friday right now at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time. If you guys want to see any more of our stuff as well on social media, you go check that out at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and, of course, at TikTok. Our man Frankie already got the clips to us. My man is working hard. And, obviously, too, if you guys want to as well, check us any more questions and comments, xbsportsofficial@gmail.com, too. And make sure, if you got a chance, you want to hear some more wrestling stuff because tomorrow is the last day for John Cena. It's over. Go check out Bad Karma Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. That's at Bad Karma Wrestling on YouTube page. They did a phenomenal job. It's our boy No Gimmicks Johnson and David W. Dykstra talking WWE and AEW, all their fun stuff. And this past one, it's all about John Cena, man. And then, yes, Scotty had his little input too. Yeah, he's there. And then real quick, we're going to be heading over to Blow the Whistle. Going to do probably a quick one over there, talk some stuff. Go check us out over there. We're going to talk some sports there real fast, and then we're going to be getting out of here. So thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one for the next show on next Friday. And always much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.